Welcome to the next chapter. So in chapter 1, we did a whole bunch of stuff. We got the Boyer workshop up, so we want to immediately put that to warbows. I'm going to do a warbow cap of 100. We're actually going to end up trading warbows at some point, and we need to get an army up as fast as possible. If we are lucky, if we are very lucky, we can get out here and steal a bandit camp from the Lord, and use that money to hire a mercenary company to survive our first bandit attack. So we got a lot to do, and we're going to hit that beautiful fast forward times 12 button, get this party started. You can see that we have 1 available living space with an additional 4 coming into fruition here soon. And we have a very high approval rating. We're bringing in some money from the little bit of trade we're doing. I'm gonna pause the game real quick. Let's get up our next veggie burgage plot. So you can see, again, perfect. Just a small loss for where the shed is. So it's really important, like I said, to make sure these parts are perfectly straight. Seems like you can get away with a little bit of crookedness on the corners over here, but the side where the shed is going to be needs to be a little bit better. We have no families doing really anything. So what I'm actually going to do right now is set up my fields. Now, these fields over here are 1 Morgan, and the rest of these are 0.5. So we got to be a little smart about this. So we have 15 at 0.4 to 0.5, and then we have 3 at 1. So what I think I'm going to do is add that all together. So 15 at 0.5. is 7.5, and then you have 3. That puts us at about 10. So what I think I'm going to do is separate these into thirds. So we're going to do these 3 plus this one, and then 7 and 7. Now I want to keep them as close together as possible. That way the farmers can move from field to field in the seasons. So we're going to be a little bit off in one season, but it's all going to carry over. So the first 7 are going to be wheat and barley over here. The middle 7 are going to be wheat and barley in the second and third. And then the 4 over here for 3.5 are going to be barley in the first, wheat in the third. That way, in any given year, we're doing barley and wheat, and we're doing 2/3 of our fields with 1 season for each set so that we can get our fertility back to where it is. This is going to lead to a very good farming setup for us. So I'm going to set that up right now. Okay, now we're set up to do this pretty well. I think it's going to take the full 8 farmhouses to do this. I set a goal of about 1 family per 0.75 Morgans to 1 Morgan. We have around 10. We're going to be doing 6. So 8 should suffice, but we are going to do another farmhouse so that we can get more ox going to make things just a little bit more fluid for us. Let's come down here and let's get up our next farmhouse. Now we can place it any way that we want. I was hoping to get it this direction. Unfortunately, the roads have their own idea. That's cool. We'll just do it like such. And then, you know, we're going to have a windmill right here. Windmill efficiency is pretty good. Sometimes you will have to destroy a road in order to place things. We're going to destroy this angled road right here. The windmill in. Perfect. Now we can reset that road. No big deal. Perfect. Okay. Things are in motion. Now, I want these people to be able to travel to the granary fairly easily. So I'm going to do a cross-section road right here for easier travel. All right, cool. So we got a lot going on, and we have enough room. Let's pause the game real quick. So we have enough room, I think, to place some ovens. So I'm actually going to destroy this straight road once more. And yeah, sometimes you just have to do what you gotta do. So what I would like to do is get 2 ovens in here. So I think what we'll have to do is also destroy this road. Let's just get this all set up so that it's really nice. And we've got a crossroad right here. And I think that crossroad out of all of them makes the most sense. I am going to bring this back up to connect to where the wild berries are being gathered. And now we have a nice section right here. So we have our marketplace sectioned off. Now I can do a few communal ovens. So we will do 2 of them. Cool. We got a lot going on for us, but there's definitely enough space there for all of that stuff. So let's continue to trek along. So this is going to be great. We can start getting barley. We're going to need to start making booze. We're going to need a malt house. So we do have a marketplace here. We do have a tannery right here. We have a lot of industry in this area. So we're going to need a tavern, and we'll need a location for that here in a moment. And I think what we're going to do is try to stay away from the animals and potentially move our logging camps a little bit inward and try to turn some of this into a back alley residential over here for potential chickens and all types of other stuff that we could do. So let's do another road like such. Connect this road here. We got another ox that we should probably get here soon. Let's upgrade these into stables so that we have enough room for everything. This is looking perfect. Logging camp, I think we're okay. 2 timber, no we are not. Let's increase that to 2 individuals. We have 1 free person. We are making a little bit of money. We got the veggies going. We got the future farms going. But we need to keep trekking along, and I want to upgrade people to tier 2. So we got a lot to do here. Now, another thing that we need to do is check out the bandit camps, because we really do need to get some money. Sometimes the bandit camps are actually abandoned. You can see in this situation here, it does appear that the bandit camp is abandoned. So we're gonna try 2 strategies here. Now keep in mind, technically speaking, all you have to do is touch the bandit camp. So if you have 2 archers, for instance, thinking you need to have a little bit more than that to summon a group, you could sacrifice one of the archer groups and snag the bandit camp for the money to hire mercenaries. So as long as you have units, you should be able to do what you need to do. So I might have to sacrifice these individuals to the gods for the greater good of everybody, because once I get that money, I can summon a very powerful mercenary group that can easily take the bandit raid, the first bandit raid that you get. Now, we are generating a lot of war bows, so I think we're in pretty good shape. Eventually, I'll be able to start selling them, and that's going to be lucrative. Another thing, I'm going to pause the game real quick. Another thing I want to say is, be careful about buying trade routes. The first trade route you should buy should always be one of the most expensive things that you plan on selling. If I bought, for instance, the firewood trade route, this 50 would go up to 100. So I can buy this one for 50, and then the one for planks, for instance, would go up to 24, and the one for firewood would go up to, I think it's like 2 or 3. Let me check it out for you guys real quick here. Yeah, it's 3, so it would go up to 6. So, you know, doubling from 50 to 100 versus doubling from 3 to 6 or 12 to 24, do the math. You're saving a lot of money. So, I'll always buy the trade route for the first really expensive thing that you want to sell. For us, it's going to be war bows. It's one of the most lucrative trade items in the game. Okay, now we have 2 armies. We're going to come over here. We're going to get this bandit camp. There may or may not be people in there. I could not visibly see. If there are individuals in there, we will sacrifice one of the archer groups while the other snags the point. And then we will run away because we are brave, brave men. It's a brave thing to know when to run. I don't know about that, but we're gonna get some money. That's all that really matters. How we get the money, the things that we have to do to get the money, those are the things we don't talk about. So we got some burgage plots being built over here. We have no available spots, and it is February 4th, so I think we missed a family. That's my bad. So let's start prioritizing some of these areas over here so that we have enough room. I gotta maintain proper strategy here. All right, so here's the bandit camp. Let's move in. All right. So far, I'm not seeing bandits in the camp. Sometimes the Lord will kill the bandits in a camp. So that's just something to think about. Like, if you're worried, like, oh, I only have 4 units. So we're putting this to the treasury. This will 109. That will allow us to hire a mercenary group. Let's take a gander and see if we can find anything else while we're out and about. Does not appear there are too many bandit camps. So that's cool. We're going to go home. I'm going to bring everybody home, and we're going to continue trekking along. So everything is going really well right now, so let's just fast forward here a little bit. Alright, another bandit camp and another lord have been sighted right here. So what I am going to do is steal that and bring the money into the town. I'm going to get rid of one of our archer squads so that those individuals can get back to work. And I'm just going to wait for the Lord to come over here and screw up. This is going to be a great day for all of us. We are at 77% approval, which means we're getting 2 families per month. You get 1 family on the 1st, 2nd of the month, and then you get the 2nd family on the 15th, 16th of the month if you're over 75%. So we're going to get 2 families per month. Things are really going to start ramping up, which makes it even more important to, 1, have the space for individuals to come in. Families. I say everything is individual. It's just a force of habit. I do know that they're families. I've been playing this game long enough. And I also kind of feel like I sound like the cop from Idiocracy who says, this particular individual, I don't know, it stayed with me for a long time. And, you know, I think given, like, current events, it's pretty fitting for me to speak that way, too. So here we are. We're above 5 burgage plots, so we're going to need an additional market, and we're going to need an additional general vendor for all this stuff over here. We've gone over where you need to be with this stuff, so let's continue. Actually, no. For the food, we're okay. It's the tier 2 buildings that need 3, so we'll remedy that here momentarily. But we're doing really great. I don't believe we have too many things going on. I did leave a person in the forager. I have a set it and forget it approach that I like to take into my gameplay, to be quite honest. I find it rather annoying to try to micromanage too much, but it can be necessary. At the current pace, though, I think we're going to be in good shape. We have really good veggie burgage plots with the flexo design being used. Someone said it looks like a baseball diamond, and I do agree with them, but it still is the flexo. So we have 365 days until we're going to get hit by a big old band of bandits. There is even the possibility that the Lord will intercept those bandits and I won't have to fight them. But you can never rely on that, because if the raiders do come and I am not prepared for them, they will beat the ever-living crap out of me, and it will not be pretty. It will not be pretty. So another thing that I would like to do is get up the brewery maker as soon as possible. So we have one oven here. We have a lot of good stuff. The granary is right here. So what I'm thinking, in all seriousness, I would love to have a single burgage plot for the brewer in this area. It's going to mess with the communal oven, but to be fair, it's going to be cool. So I'm going to do it. We can put an oven right over here. I would like to have the brewery next to the granary here. For the malt and all that stuff. We're also going to need, let's pause the game real quick because I am trying to do a lot at once. We're also going to need a malt house, and we can place that malt house right here. So, unfortunately, it's saying I do not have enough boards. I believe I took the family. I'm using proper terms now. No, it's there. Everybody's there. We're going through a lot of boards because we are making a lot of bows, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So let's wait for these warriors, individuals, to intercept the bandit camp. So this one does actually have people at it. Holy cow, that is a lot of people. They're I think these two are lovers. I don't know what's going on between them. I don't want to know. I'm just gonna zoom out now. All right, let's speed this up. So they're running to intercept. This is when you run in like Yogi the Bear and you steal that picnic basket. All right, let's get this. Running in to steal. This money we're going to send to the town so that we can buy our apples, because it's going to take 3 to 4 years for those apples to come in to full production. So we're going to send resources to the nearest town. It's a glorious day for us. Now, oh shit. They're coming for me now. I will say though, if you can kill the bandits you want to, because you gain influence. So the reason that the Lord can expand so quickly is because he's killing the bandits. So if you're able to kill the bandits before the Lord, it greatly slows down his ability to expand and thus go to war with you. But I think what I'm going to have to do is actually lead these banditos into a trap. Now, I think if I get the first hit, I may actually get the influence. So let's try something here. Let's try shooting these banditos just a little bit, just to get them salty. And then running away really, really fast. Okay, yeah, they're gaining on us pretty quick. Let's speed this up. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, you guys need to run. Okay, this isn't gonna go well for us. They're very angry. They're very quick. We might have to lose somebody, but in the grand scheme of things, I feel like we're doing the Lord's work. All right, we're gonna run. Oh shit! They broke my units. They broke them. We lost one. That's not bad. So we'll check up here to see if we get influence from these after they die. I may have you may have to kill one of them to get the influence. It's a little ambiguous. I'll have to look into that one for us. All right. Well, let's keep this awesomeness on track. So we need a lot more people. We have 2. All right. We're gonna rename our village. And one of my favorite actors, Val Kilmer. May he rest in peace. We're going to name this Willow. But very sad news. He was honestly a very good actor. I guess we shouldn't judge him based on that. He seems like he was a good person, too. It's always tragic when somebody passes. So let's get these people into the town, and let's get going. All right, cool. So we did not gain the influence. So I may not have hit anybody well enough, but I've been told if you get the first punch in, you typically get the influence. So let's disband this unit now that it's back at town. Got the granary going. We got the oven going up. We have 3 available living spaces. So what I need to do now is start getting these things up. It's April 1st. There was our new family. So now we can start upgrading all of these bad boys. And these aren't optimal, but I'm trying to be cool. So we're going to go that direction there. We have some extra space here if I decide to go a different direction, though I do like everything that I'm doing here. We're all going to place a granary in the center there. Go to the stonecutters camp. They're doing an okay job. We have 16 stone left. Let's see how much stone we have. 155 stone. We are doing absolutely very, very awesome. So the storehouse, pit, everything is good. Trade post, got 1 family. Let's get a few other things in motion here. So I'm going to pause the game real quick. We're going to get ourselves up a couple hitching posts in the back area here. By a couple, I mean a lot. And these guys are still under construction, so there's a little bit of slow pokery going around. Mainly because, though, I did have a lot of individuals out there fighting. So the men are drafted and they're not working. One of the bad things about having a standing army. Our berries are doing fantastic. We're going to boot this production up, and I'll go over some berry production tips here in a bit. If you haven't already seen my videos, I've kind of beaten that subject to death, but sometimes, you know, people, it's their first time watching me, so I do like to kind of repeat good advice. And the hunting camp is doing the best it can. I'm actually kind of surprised at how well it's doing. The direction that we're going to go is we're definitely going to go into heavy plows. I haven't decided if I'm going to go into bakeries. They are amazing, and you make double the bread. I don't know if we're going to need to do that, because we have a lot of bread coming in. And this is going to be a smart build. It's going to, you know, not going to be crazy. I'm not going to go to 15,000 people. We're going to try to make as much money off as small of a population as I can. Probably go 200-300 on this build. That'll be good enough. But yeah, the idea is just trying to have fun. I'm just having fun with this build. And just trying things from a different viewpoint. Trying to make things aesthetically pleasing. I really like the setup here. I think it looks great. And I'm trying to figure out what I want to do over here. But we got a lot of good things going on for us. So we do kind of want to start thinking about the future. I would like to keep the burgage plot making alcohol, the granary, and the... Ooh. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff around here. We're going to sell alcohol too, so keeping that close to the trade post could be advantageous for us. Potentially putting a few things... Yeah, the storehouse is right next to the trading post. That's always kind of how you want to have it. We have a lot of good stuff going on. And the malt house is going to be the next big thing for us. So, no, we should have had a malt house around these parts. I'm going to place the malt house right here. That is a good spot. We might need 2 malt houses if we really ramp up ale production. I'm going to have a sideways road going here. I'm going to go with the natural curvature that I've designated. And we're going to have a road like such. And then we can kind of put houses in the middle here. So you can use spacing. The best way to know if a double burgage plot is going to work out, honestly, is using corpse pits. Because a corpse pit is exactly 2 double burgage plots with a backyard extension. So if you want to know what your spacings are, and if you're going to be able to get everything you want, pause. Yeah, we're still paused. Let's actually remove this road. So what I want to do is make sure that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Some of this stuff is not going to be fantastic. But if I can get this and then a curvature, it's going to be great. So we're going to have a little bit of die-off over here. What I would like is to try to not make this look square, right? I mean, as square as I can. So I think what we'll do this. We'll have a little bit of a die-off area right there that we can use to place. Probably the tavern would be a good spot there. And then we have all this back area for additional burgage plots. And that's going to look pretty cool. So let's do that. Let's do that. That's a good idea. We got the tavern right here. Perfect. And then we can have all of our housing as such. And I think what we'll do is put a road like such, and this is all going to snap together pretty well. So we have an additional 2. Let's start thinking about this. Let's use this as a basis and a foundation. So I want to start lining stuff up. Perfect, perfect. So the road right here is going to be a little weird. Let's see if I can do this. I just want to make sure that we're getting everything the way that we need to get it. Sometimes your road snap points aren't too grand. Yeah. So the road, where the road is where I need to take things. So I think what we should do here, is just give ourselves a little bit of breathing room so that we don't have to overthink this. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this just a tad bit bigger. Make it a little weird, but nothing cosmic. There we go. All right. So now we don't have to worry too much. That gives us just a little bit of breathing room. Right about. Sometimes you are gonna have to turn the snap the road tool off to get what you want. And yeah, it's not always gonna go the way that you want it. So do this. There we go. See that? With the backyard extensions, leaves enough room over there. Perfect. Now what I would like to do is have this road kind of follow. And, you know, if we have some dead loss, like housing, that's okay. Like I said, it just needs to be well enough. Now we can turn the snap to road tool on because we have a guide. Perfect. Look at that. Okay. So these are all going to be double. We'll probably put some chickens in them. Boom. And now that we gave ourselves that little bit of breath room, we potentially actually could have connecting road right here. And then have houses. We're not going to build these guys yet. Perfect. Look at that. All right. So that gives us all that. And then we can actually have houses facing a different direction down here now so that they can get backyard extensions. And so this gives us a really cool area. We got the tavern. We got the church. We got the market. Everybody's slightly happy. Let's look at well placements. It looks like I could place a well right here. And I think that's what we'll do. That way people over here have an easy access to water. Even though I think I have a well pretty close. It's never hurts to have a couple. All right, we have 5 free families. We're getting really close to the point where we can do a lot of cool stuff. So we do need to start pushing people into tier 2. And I'm going to stay away from doing the Boyer workshop for now. The first things I want to get to tier 2 are definitely going to be these burgage plots. But in order to do all this, I'm going to need to put one more person in the granary. I'm going to need to put one more person into the large storehouse. And this will allow me to get back up into those 100s. We also need a third food type. I think vegetables are going to start coming in pretty strong. So let's speed all of this up. We have a lot of free living spaces. People are doing great. Let's see what we got. So we want to get the apples going up here. We do have a lot of money. Hopefully this will be enough apples for everybody. We can always change our mind and build a little bit more if we need to. All right, let's get these apples up. There we go. This should be quite enough. Should be quite enough. We're only going to have so many plots. We just need to be big enough to have a basic army. And I think things are going to go really well for us. Now we're going to leave the 4 unassigned families to help build everything. There's quite a lot to do. We are at a point now where we can upgrade. We're going to shoot to upgrade all of the furthest plot points because these tend to be the hardest. We're going to need a lot of boards, so this is going to present difficulties. I also want to make sure that we're ordering more ox and getting things going. But we have a lot of great things going for us right now. Now the location of these burgage plots isn't completely ideal. We've got the Boyer workshop there. We definitely need to get this up to tier 2 so that we can get a brewery maker going. I'm not going to extend the living space at all in this, so it's just there if I change my mind. I actually like to somewhat build double burgage plots for my artisans in case I change my mind. So here's the problem. People have found out that you usually get more production from having 2 single burgage plots dedicated to a craft. And if you have 2 families, which becomes 4 families at tier 3, they're all locked into whatever production is here, and it really sucks. The advantage of having a double burgage plot is it doesn't require any additional market space because you need 1 food available per marketplace, right? So, or per burgage plot, I should say. So if you need more soldiers, it's nice to be able to do this. You might get a slight up for the brewery, especially because we're going to be mass producing alcohol. We're going to get a slight increase. It's not going to, you know, say you're getting 100%. You're not going to get another. Like, you're not going to get multiple production values. You might get like 100, and you might get 50% production off those other families. It's pretty weird right now. I'm expecting this to change in the future, but that's just currently the way that it works. So you don't really get a good return, and it's usually better to do single burgage plots for your production buildings for that reason. Also, in previous patches, there were glitches when you had 2 families in a burgage plot doing production where it would screw up. So there's some issues all around this, and just to let you know. But like I said, what's really useful about it is that you're getting that extra person for your army, and you're also getting the way that the tax system works. People are actually a detriment in a lot of ways, but it's not a big deal. You don't even need a full army. That's the kind of funny thing. Our manor is now up, so we can do a lot of things here. We have 270 days until we're going to get raided. We're actually doing incredibly well given everything that's going on right now. So we're just going to keep trekking along. Got our 2nd settlement level, so I definitely want to go immediately into heavy plows. That's a beautiful thing right there. Let's also start thinking about getting some hitching posts a little bit closer to the area that we're going to be doing a lot of this stuff in. So snap to road tool is on. This area is pretty decent. I'm thinking actually putting some hitching posts in this area could be advantageous, but honestly, I'd prefer to keep them close. Now, we are going to do another bread maker around these parts. So I think right here and here, yeah, more hitching posts. I have someone once said that my videos aren't a Manor Lord video. They're a video about someone with a crippling ox addiction, and I couldn't agree more. I definitely have issues, and I love my ox. Not in that way, though. Not in that way. This isn't that kind of video. It's platonic. It's a platonic love. I love the work they do and the money they make me. All right, we're in good shape. Everything's going hunky-dory. Hunting camp's doing well. We can start putting more people into the berry maker here, but we got 124 berries. We got 5 veggies. We got 37 meat. Meat spoils pretty quickly, so that is kind of an issue, but we'll get over it. A lot of apples are coming up. The families here are going to be pretty productive. I'm pretty sure you can use these farmers. You can use these families over here to farm. We kind of want to put industries closer to these individuals so that they are in good efficiency. But we got 7 free families. Pretty much everything is built up. Let's go down the line. Yeah, everything is great. Now, I want to continue upgrading everything I possibly can to tier 2 up here. Right now, we're having a little bit of a logging issue. Probably would advise, yes. We are going to officially move this gent over to the backside. And that will open up a huge area for more things. Now, I like to keep my saw pit next to the large storehouse, because it's easier to cart a log than it is the boards, in my opinion. It's just faster. You don't have to do what I do. Everybody has their own kind of opinion on this, so go ham. Go do what you'd like to do, and you will be fine. But that's just how I like to do it, so I do it that way. Alright, perfect. Yeah, you can see we're going to get a lot of veggies off of these fields. We're going to get more apples than I think we need. And we're going to get more bread than I think we need. We're going to be swimming in food. It's going to be, honestly, slightly ridiculous. So let's pause the game real quick and let's take a peek. Over here, let's get ourselves another forester up. So if you haven't seen my guides, the berries proc on a regular deposit 11 times in 3 months. So if you have enough families, you can quickly get all the berries, and it comes out to be about 400. But you have to have enough to harvest every single one of them. Otherwise, you don't get the full proc. So it's a little bit of... It's not too hard to do, but you can't half-ass it. It has to be done, like I said. And you'll need about 4 families to do that. 3 to 4. And I like to do multiple forager huts. People have asked me, why do I place a multiple forager hut? Why do I place multiple hunting camps? Pantry. When you're doing this, the pantry gets full, and they no longer gather berries. So it's better to have 3 pantries with 1 family each than 1 forager hut with 3 each, because what's going to happen is the pantry's going to get full. They're going to stop collecting, and you got to wait in the granary worker. So what this does is it buys you logistical time for the granary worker to come over and move those goods, and you would have to have a lot more families to do this otherwise. So that's the advantage of having multiple forager huts. That's the advantage of having multiple hunting camps, is you have more pantry size to account for that. Now, we don't have to worry about that with this rich deposit unless we go the trapping and advanced skinning route, and in which case things get a little hairy. Then if you go into policies and you enable the hunting grounds, which gives you wild animals breeding twice as fast, it's insane how much meat you can get, and then you need multiple camps for that reason. However, it reduces your crop yields by 50%, so we're not even going to go that route. I think for us, what we're going to do is take a gander and probably go into Maybe charcoal. Charcoal's a good trade item. It's one of the better trade items in the game. Probably go into beekeeping and get honey for another food supply. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I guess we will go into trapping and advanced skinning. Don't really see a need for better deals. Usually I go into better deals if I'm importing a lot of alcohol. However, that is not the case here. We have a lot of individuals now, so it's pretty much time to start ramping things up. So we don't need anybody in the malt house quite yet. We don't need anybody in the communal oven or the windmill quite yet. But we do need to start getting the ox plowing stations up. Right now I'm trying to just get a good amount of ox. We also want to come over to our farms and take a gander. So we only have 4 ox, so that's a problem because I'm going to permanently assign those ox to that farmhouse. So what I need to do is just really get that stuff going. So we're going to speed this up. We're in good shape. We want to keep families coming in. We want to keep getting soldiers. This is beautiful. Eventually I'm going to start setting a tax rate. I would tax. I want to get us back above 75%. The lack of entertainment is kind of pissing people off. Okay, it's time. Now again, I use a set it and forget it strategy. A lot of people don't like it, but I love it. I love not having to think about these things too much. Once we get multiple families in here, we'll be good. The real kicker holding us back, like I said, is the logging camp. So let's put 2 individuals in here. We're not building anything quite yet. We're above 75% now. It is the 27th of July. What cool. We're getting close. Winter is coming. We have 5 months of fuel, which is not enough fuel. So let's pause the game real quick. I believe we're going to need to move the woodcutter's lodge over here. We are going to need to pull 1 individual out of the logging camp, 1 family, and get that built back up. Yeah, it's just too terrible over there. But we got good roads. All of our creatures can move around very well. I think what we're going to do is place a road here so that anyone coming from this direction can quickly get a log to the saw pit. Things are awesome. We got this whole area right here for building anything that we need. All right, logging camp, woodcutter is almost up. We're going to place our individual back into there. Yeah, because we're using a work size area on a lot of this stuff, we need to make sure that they have enough space to do everything that they need to do. Let's also redo this work size area to make sure that we're still cutting down logs. Perfect. We're in good shape. Everything is looking awesome. Let's just continue to order ox. Perfect. I am going to get 1 ox plow up here. I'm kind of scared about doing too many because I don't have enough ox for everybody. But these fields are looking wonderful as far as production goes. I think that's going to bring in more food than I know what to do with. Got berries, we got meat, but soon we'll catch up on the veggies, and it's going to be a good place for all of us. All right, beautiful. Farmhouse is constructed. Perfect. So, yeah, I'm going to permanently assign 2. I feel comfortable doing that. We don't need to put any families in here yet because they don't have oxes. So we're just going to put them all into here. That's pretty awesome. So now we're going to get out there. The ox is really going to help. Another bandit camp is sighted. Probably would be to my advantage to go kick the crap out of it. Let's see where it is. It's all the way north. Okay. So we're going to send... What's awesome is I don't need to send my workers now. I can send my retinue. Another advantage of getting your manor up as fast as possible. Let's send this guy up to the northeast. And let's check this out. Now, hopefully... Yeah, they're over here. It's there. They're a little bit closer than me, but they're probably going to crab walk it all the way there. So I think we can beat them if we run. We're going to double click. We're going to get in range. And let's do this. No, don't get too close. All right. They've engaged. I got to get up there as fast as possible to get this camp because they are going to just eviscerate that unit. So I need to run. I don't expect this unit to last too long. As long as I'm closer, that's all that matters. All right, we did it. I'm going to send this... I'm going to send this to the treasury, to be honest. Because I have, in my opinion, more than enough regional wealth, and I'm selling a lot of stuff. All right, we're going to come back to town, and we're going to get this show on the road. I probably want to buy more retinue here, too. The cool thing is once we're attacked by the banditos in 173 days, we'll know a lot more. Now, I probably want to start getting up a few other things. I actually think that this area right here is kind of perfect. So what we're going to do is look at how many... We want to keep under 20 burgage plots so that we can minimize the amount of workers that we need. I eventually am going to go a little bit beyond that, but that's okay. As long as I keep my increments in 5, it should align with the market stalls pretty well. So what I want to do is, yeah, have 2 more, because I want to start making shields and shieldmen, and we can start selling. You could sell a lot of weapons. You can make a lot of money. This thing is being a little funky right now. You see what I'm working with here. So we're going to put a road to offset the funkiness. We don't like funky. This is not a funky town. All right. This is perfect right here. That's 2 artisans. So that's 2. That place, this is 16 plus 2. So we got 2 more that we can place down. I may or may not increase some production. We got the ox going. That's a beautiful thing right there. Eventually, I'll get some more of those. And yeah, we're just going to continue to buy ox. This is great. So the small tavern, I always find it's best to upgrade this to the large tavern. So we got that going. We're going to start getting a lot of booze production. But things are looking up for us. They're looking really up for us. So thank you guys for tuning in. Please stay tuned for the next chapter. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.